Like many of you, I've been watching a lot of the stuff from Comic-Con, and I came across this new Eternia Playset, and I saw this guy, King Grayskull, the new Revelations King GraySkull, which they currently make in the Masterverse line. But I don't collect the Masterverse line. I collect the Origins line. So luckily, I had an extra Clamp Champ hanging around, and after seeing that Eternia playset, and more specifically, King Grayskull, I had to make my own. So, it's time for an overly expensive Kitbash to make a guy that they're probably going to make anyway, but hopefully he's included in something really exclusive and I didn't feel like waiting. Also known as, I'm an adult and I have problems. So I went ahead and took apart my Clamp Champ and hoped that the head would pop on. Since they had it at San Diego Comic-Con and they used the same head sculpt, I thought it would be pretty close. Now, here I was pretty worried about the skin tone. I actually have two Clamp Champs, so I checked both of them. But the skin tone was pretty close. Now, in certain light, it doesn't look right, but on my shelf, and actually throughout this video, it looks like I'm brilliant, but it is off a little bit. So next, I attached the Masterverse cape, and if any of us who have dealt with He-Man in the past know how long this takes, a lot longer than I'm showing here on video. It works pretty well. Now, I could have cut down the cape. It is a little bit long, but I just didn't feel like it. I can still make the Masterverse King GraySkull back if I want to, but overall it looks pretty good. The proportions are okay and everything else, but I wasn't happy with the red and the black. It looked okay, so I got out the paints, and it's time for a little gnarly rocketing of Clamp Champ. I'm sorry, Clamp Champ, you're pretty cool, but you're not King GraySkull's cool. So, the obligatory paint the furkini to try and match what they have on the Masterverse, and then also paint the boots, which you'll see here in a minute. And that's pretty much that. Now, I did add some brown to the black boots. If you look at the Masterverse, I added this nutmeg brown. The Masterverse, he's got two-tone boots. So what I did is a real light coat of paint, letting the black shine through to kind of give it a different texture, and that really helped. I tried to take my time here. I wiped off whatever I got onto the black straps with my finger, but again, you can see there it's pretty close. So I was really happy with the way this turned out. It gave it a little bit of depth, a little more color, and then here you can see there that it's not a perfect paint job. I gave it different. That paint is still wet. I came back in later and fixed some of the lighter parts where I fat fingered it, if you will, and then just coming back in with some of that gilding paint I've used on so many. You first saw this on the Man-at-Arms customs I did. Actually, the first He-Man custom I did after I got these. So now it's just time to snap him back together, and a little assembly, and there we go. Now, I didn't do any weathering to any of the Masterverse parts, the shield, any of it really. I have done that in the past, but I really like the way this guy looked. It did take me forever to get those stupid chest thing on. I may go back and trim the cape. It is a little long, but after dressing it and getting it ready for the shelf, it looked pretty good. So, pretty happy with it. This is a fairly easy custom you can do at home. It is a little expensive because you got to buy a Masterverse guy, a deluxe Target only Masterverse guy, and you also need to find a Clamp Champ. But I'm really happy with him. I like having this guy on the shelf. I really like the new rendition of King GraySkull, and my son was very happy because he got the leftover Clamp Champ parts and the leftover King GraySkull parts, of which he's mixing with his CGI He-Man stuff and loving every minute of it. So I had to make this guy after seeing him. He's a great addition to the collection. He's sitting right next to my custom Wondar. We'll see you next time, everybody.